Sup lifters. Today I want to talk about a topic which is actually pretty dear to my heart, which is, can you train every single day? We're talking about bodybuilding here. For other sports, I am not an expert. I'm also not an expert on bodybuilding, what am I saying? But I practice that and I feel like that I'm doing it decently successfully since I'm doing everything on my own. So, the baseline of the question is, can you train every single day? And the answer is, of course, yes, you can. It is what I'm doing. I don't know if you actually looked for this channel or if you just randomly clicked, but if you check my channel out, you can see that my main series is called Train Every Day, and I do train every day. So, how do I train every single day? Do I go balls to the walls every single day? No, I don't. In fact, I pretty much follow a legs push pull split, or pull legs push, okay, 2 times a week. So that makes up for 6 days of the week. What do I do on the 7th? Since I say that I still do train, I do movements which are propedeutic, if you will, for everything else that I do in a different intensity, or I do a lot of mobility work, or I do a lot of working stuff that I usually dislike and I don't want to do. Now remove the or that I say and put them an and, because I do all of this stuff. For instance, what I mainly do on Sunday, which is my quote-unquote theoretical rest day, which actually becomes an active recovery day, or even a training day, if you will, although lighter than the others, this is what I do. I do high pulls, which are an Olympic weightlifter movement, which actually basically teaches you how to generate power from your hips. Go check it out, it is an amazing exercise. What else do? I do front and back rack holds with super maximum weight. So let's say that I squat 75 or 70, I do back rack holds with 120 kilograms, just to feel the weight. No way in hell I'm gonna squat that, just feeling it. Same for the front rack position, since I do use front squats, so I need to actually have a decent front rack position, because the majority of the time in the front squats it's not your legs that give in, but it's your thoracic extension. What else do? I do a lot of mobility stuff for my left shoulder, which has slightly less mobility than my right one, and I usually find it hard to actually keep the barbell stable on my back. I train abs, which is because it's something that I hate doing. Right now I'm doing it 2 times a week, plus on Sunday, so it's 3 times a week, which is better than nothing, of course, but I still dislike it. I also do a lot of a lot of foam rolling. I do a lot of myofascial releases. I work on my mobility. I do some active stretches, some passive stretches. This is at the end of it. I firstly do all of the moving stuff, okay, so the high pulls, the rack holds, the ab training and stuff like that. Then there is all of this block of mobility stuff, and I honestly find it quite relaxing. I really enjoy it because number one, the session is shorter in the sense that I just have to do three exercises, which is not a lot, so it doesn't really take a lot of time to be focused. And after that, you can just put on your headphones and start suffering on the foam roller. However, it's pretty relaxing, because you're just staying there, you're just enjoying the moment, feeling some pain on your legs or whatever you're actually foam rolling, and it's pretty enjoyable. So now moving on, this is how I do it. The push-pull legs, I hope that you've actually heard of it. Basically I have one day in which I train pushing movements, which is the push day. Actually, let's go in order. I do legs, number one, legs, it's legs, nothing else to say. Then I have push, which, as I said, upper body movements and everything that pushes. So what does push in our upper body? Chest, triceps and shoulders. In theory, it is only the front delt and the middle delt, okay, the medium head of the delt. However, I also do train the back of my delt, because I do that pretty much 4 times a week, because I only have bands basically this is the protocol that I'm using right now. I could train them like everything else 2 times a week, but I'm really enjoying it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. So this is what I do. I do shoulders, chest and triceps, just to keep it simple, and forearms. Then I have my pull day, in which I train all of my back, my biceps, my forearms, and occasionally my hamstrings, because sometimes I have Romanian deadlifts, Sometimes I have deadlifts. Usually it's more deadlifts than anything else. So how do you program something like this? Because you understand that you can't go balls to the wall every single day. And that, in my opinion, is actually false in the sense that I train for bodybuilding and I honestly never have any problem of recovery from one day to the other. I sometimes do have recovery problems from like the first leg session to the second leg session, because it's only my hamstrings, and because they get extremely sore. For instance, today it's my second leg day of the week and they are still sore from the first one. That is the only thing. However, being sore doesn't mean that you can't actually perform decently. So don't really worry about that. But I never have any problem of recovery on my chest or on my back. So you honestly can do heavy movements. What I would limit, however, is the amount of compound movements that you do. I personally, on leg day, only do squats as a big, heavier movement, okay? And on one of these 2 days, I do Romanian deadlifts, okay? So with higher reps, I'm not in the low reps. I'm from 8 to 12, okay? So it's less weight. And that really fries my hamstrings. On chest day, I do bench press and overhead press. I'm really enjoying it. I'm progressing in both of them, so I'm not stressing about them. However, you can do something like this. You can do one day in which you do chest for strength and overhead press or military press, call it however you will, for volume. And the next time you do them in reverse. So you open up with heavier overhead press and with then the bench press for volume. That is another option. And then on my pull day, I have one pull day in which my heavier movement is weighted chin-ups, and the other where I have deadlifts, sumo or regular, whatever. I'm gonna get back at sumo, I decided. But anyway, this is how I usually do it. Now, how do I program the push-pull leg for me? And I know that this is called about training every single day, but I feel like that if you do train like 7 times a week, the push-pull leg is the best option. And why is it? Because you get the best bang for your buck, okay? You make the active decision that you're gonna spend at least 16 hours in the gym every single week, at least, okay? If you're actually training with some volume, you know. So let's make the most of it. We need to train everything and we need to do it smartly, okay? Why don't you use a bro split? So like Monday chest, Tuesday legs, Wednesday arms, I don't know, Thursday, what else is left? Maybe actually don't do legs, they do quads and hamstrings or stuff like that. Why don't we do it? Because we are not optimizing our time. Training arms in a single session is gonna take less time than training for a whole back day. However, you are not basically recovering in the best of your abilities, because basically the body needs around 48 hours to completely recover a body part, and everything else after that is usually just pain, okay? Usually, unless you completely demolished it, which sometimes can happen, but we don't want that. So the push-pull legs allows you to basically hit every single muscle group at least 2 times per week, okay? And that is the main advantage of the push-pull legs over other routines. And I'm talking about that training every single day, okay? You can also do something like, I don't know, upper lower, but even that can't really make it because you end up doing everything 3 times a week, since upper has actually a lot of stuff. You can do, however, something like legs, upper in the sense of, actually something like that, legs, push, pull, legs, push, pull, legs. But that still doesn't make any sense. No, I'm sorry, I'm just wasting my time. I'm wasting your time, I'm gonna cut this. So in general, I believe that if you want to train every single day, the push-pull legs is your best bet, because it is a 6-day split and you just need one single day to fill in. That is the main idea. If you find the split divided in 7 days, which is not a monofrequency or bro split or pro split program, you can also use that, okay? So what is a pro split? Just in case you don't know, it's basically Monday chest, Tuesday quads, Thursday hamstrings, Wednesday arms, Friday, I don't know, abs, Saturday back. Okay, this is trash for naturals. This is trash, terrible, in my opinion, of course. So try to use a push-pull legs. Now, how do you actually recover? You need to have everything else on point, and you need to make sacrifices, because you can't basically expect yourself to be using what, in my opinion, is the most rewarding training protocol, because you are spending more time at the gym, you are getting more tonnage, you are getting better at everything, because the more time you spend doing an exercise, the better you become at doing it. You can't expect to use basically the hardest protocol and be lacking on nutrition, be slacking off when you sleep, being partying out every single weekend. Okay, I believe that sustainability is the best thing, and this is why I personally believe that, since we just talked about can you train every single day, we're now gonna dwell on the topic of should you train every single day. And in my opinion, you shouldn't. I believe that 5 days or 6 days, 6 days already quite hard to sustain. And I'm gonna tell you why. For two main reasons. The first one, which is the silliest, if you will, it requires more recovery, it requires more discipline in everything else besides the gym, okay? So you need to have your recovery on check. You need to be focused on the gym. And also it is gonna be less sustainable, okay? Because a lot of people tend to get tired, they tend to feel like they have already done enough. But if you reason like that, you shouldn't be doing a push-pull legs in the first place, because this leads us to the second point, which is sustainability, which is the best, and actually the most important, not the best, the most important parameter when you're choosing the way you're gonna train. Because I would argue that if you train with push-pull legs perfectly for 3 years versus a man who trains 3 times a week for 10 years, after those 10 years, the man who kept doing it is gonna look better than this other guy, this other fella, okay? So I don't care if you train amazingly for 3 years, if you then stop for the rest of your life, or for how many years. I don't care. I would rather have you on the gym 3 times a week for a decade, okay? It is gonna be better in every single way, more sustainability. You're gonna keep doing what you actually like, and you won't end up hating it. You're gonna have a better physique, you're gonna have more exposure to the weights, you're gonna feel better, okay? And again, remember that, especially if you're natural, but even if you aren't, although I still feel like that you should stay natural, this is a marathon, it is not a sprint. It doesn't make sense to do 1 month, okay, let's scale back the numbers, to do 1 month training every single day and then stopping for 2. I would rather have you in the gym for 3 months, training 3 times a week. So find what is sustainable. I believe that, however, of course, because otherwise, why would I be training seven times a week? In 10 years, the dude who trains 7 days a week is gonna look way better than the dude who trains 3 times a week, unless one had the worst genetics on the planet and the other guy has Chris Bumstead's genetics. But I mean, if you have Chris Bumstead's genetics, what are you doing? Why are you training 3 times a week? Go become pro. Go do something with your talent. Possibly. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Basically, you can train 7 times a week. You probably shouldn't. If you're gonna do it, be prepared for what is about to come. See you guys in the next one.